One.
Hello, boys and we're live for another edition of the MMA-analysis podcast. Lance took his damn headset off because he can't handle the intro.
How many
everyone else is here? We got a full house.
How many listeners do we lose in the first 15 seconds?
All of them.
It's trademark. It's trademark.
Half the listeners.
There's 5 people paying attention to what we're saying right now.
You lost me. You lost me as the listener during the intro. I get out of there.
You hate it. It's okay.
Get the
me a
people
headache.
fucking going, Lance. What are you talking about?
People
Gives
look
me a
forward
headache.
to it.
It's fucking provocative, man.
You wake up with a headache.
Sometimes
What's
I
up,
don't
man?
sleep well.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It could be all the degeneracy. Anyway, yeah. So this week in MMA, everyone's obsessed with a Russian fighter. I know that they want to just make him be the number one fighter in the welterweight and the middleweight division. Apparently, he's going to be double champ.
Might as well push him. He's making 15 and
Swedish.
15. That's a fucking bargain.
Might as well fight every week. At least you keep getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is funny to me. We've seen this time and time again. I don't know if I've ever seen it this fast with no good wins. Like if you remember, like when Conor was coming up, Conor beat some good fucking dudes, including like Dustin Poirier and guys like that.
Yeah, but even his first fight was against Brimage, who was at least like a semi decent fighter. Like that was the first fight out of the gate.
He beat better guys.
Jimmy has fought nobody if that was.
He beat better guys in cage
Yes.
warriors before even coming over to the UFC than this guy's beaten. Trust me.
Yeah, and it's not surprising, right? It's a lot of the media hyping it up, and some of the fans obviously as well. But like the guy has no good wins, no one in the top 25 even, and we're talking about guys in TC at a top 5 fight, and like one guy was arguing me that he'd be favored over Colby Covington. Say what you want about Colby Covington, and then he'd be really competitive. Like Usman would be a pick'em. And I'm thinking, like, oh my god, like, if he goes up in the ranks at 185,
He's not going to go. He's a 170.
Dominated at 170. That's a lot of wrestlers. So hats off. And then there's a lot of people saying, why would anyone want to fight this guy? That wouldn't do anything for them. Why would he do this? Well, he's the biggest thing in MMA right now. So if you're ranked the 12th guy at 170, and I bet guys in the bottom half of the top 15 are begging for this guy because if Luque comes in and knocks this dude out. It doesn't matter what this dude was ranked. That is a huge win for Luque.
Yeah. Especially if you see
because he's a 2-division champ.
Already.
He's
He's got the belts on his wall already.
The champ.
Look,
the last guy.
I said this in our chat, but I was like, look at Ian Heinisch.
Yep.
Ian fucking Heinisch. He knocked out Meerschaert too in the first round. Easy. Didn't have any punches landed on him. And his first 2 UFC fights were he beat Mutanch and he beat Shoeface. Those are way better than the 2 fucking...
Those are good wins.
Yeah, those are
both.
excellent.
Those are good.
Those
wins.
are like borderline top 15 wins as his first 2 guys. If he did that and then knocked out Meerkat, like that's incredible. But he faced real fighters along the way. This guy has faced 2 British scrubs. And a guy who also got knocked out by Meerkat.
To be fair, not his fault.
No, it's not his fault. No one's blaming him. He's annoying as fuck, and I can't wait for him to go night-night. But the first 2 wins might have been the worst 2-fight winning streak I've seen in UFC history. I don't think you could handpick 2 worst guys that he fought.
Yeah, I remember saying that about
wins
somebody
are 7
earlier.
and 8. They're 7 and 8 in the UFC collectively.
And that's only because Meerkat probably has like 6.
Yeah,
he's got most of them.
I think Phillips has 1, right?
Yep. Look. My whole thing is like, what's the worst part about all this is I like the guy. I think he's fucking skilled.
I think
Lance
he's
doesn't like him.
I like him.
If the guy had a USA flag or
No,
was born in the United States, I don't like him. He loves the skill set.
he's done exactly what he's supposed to do.
He's
so far.
That is exactly what he's done.
We can
him.
You can even see a little bit of. You can see some skill. There's things to be excited about, but then you got this whole community. Like I've talked about it before. Like like this newer set of fan base that's been around maybe a decade or so didn't even get to witness, like they watch like the back end of John Jones and shit like that. They want to be the ones to say, I was on the next big thing. Like they all want to do it. They're all in the prisoner of the moment shit. They want to crown the next guy. And I've watched fighting for over 30 years, dude. Boxing, kickboxing, all this shit. We've seen this movie 1,000 times. Some guy comes up, beats up the dudes he's supposed to beat up, and ends up getting thrown in there with a legitimate fighter. And it's bad in MMA now because I think this is gonna we're not gonna probably see the best of this guy.
It does happen.
He's gonna get rushed and gonna get fucked up, and then everybody's gonna jump off the bandwagon.
It does. I mean, things happen though. I mean, Habib ran through and won all his fights. I mean, it's not like there's no case study here for
nobody was calling Habib world champ after his third fight.
Two divisions.
People took forever to think Habib was going to be a world champ. Maybe like 10 fights.
Yeah, so he didn't get hyped up.
And Habib beat Tebow really early in his career. Bad decision, yes, but that level of guy.
Yeah, it's a higher level. I agree.
And then they were like, we need to dial it back a little bit because they got lucky on that one.
Yep. And I think, I feel like I would have been more bought in if I would have saw 10 plus minutes of how he did on the ground with a good guy on his ground, a good guy in his back, how he would have done with some pressure, seeing him get later. Meerkat, man, he went in there scared.
Terrified. Terrified of a little baby welterweight.
It reminds me of McGregor, the way that he's mind fucking these guys. Wow, I guess it's really only been Meerkat.
But McGregor did it at the highest level.
Yeah, he did it at the highest level. It's fair, but it's the same sort of thing. Like that dude was, he was terrified getting into that cage and just got.
Lance is right though too. Like we can slow down about this guy being a top 5, top 10 dude. Every great fighter that we've seen lately or past years has to have some fucking adversity in a fight before you can even see if they're legitimate or not. Some guys melt under that, and they'll never be a legitimate top tier fighter. Guys can lose fights and shit, but you see that heart and they improve and come back and win in those spots, win in those spots the next time out. That's a great fighter. It's not all skill set. And when it's this level, it's not all skill set.
And that's why it was funny to me with guys, calling out like guys like Colby, right? Like Colby, man. The funny thing with the style of Colby, right? Like we've never seen random Russian number 5 be in deep waters, be in the third round of the fight. Colby's gonna take you there because you're not knocking Colby out with one.
We are talking about this shit, are we?
Dude, people literally said he would be favored.
I know, but you just need to just not.
I'd love to see it.
Interact with people that say shit like that.
The stupidity, though.
An actual bookmaker said that Yolo Romero would be a slight favorite to this guy tomorrow. Where are we at in this shit when you're saying Yoel Romero is a slight favorite to this fucking guy that's beating Meerkat and fucking Bum Phillips and shit? Are we serious?
This guy out wrestled 2 British dudes and knocked out Meerkat. And you think he's just going to come in there and be a favorite against a guy who took all of this shit.
Speaking of Colby,
Costa.
There are some people that think he's got a better shot to win a basketball game against LeBron than an actual fight, considering LeBron is a foot taller than him and probably outweighs him by 100 pounds. But
I'll say this. I take LeBron in a fight straight up.
Right now.
I take him in a fight.
Right now. The man
is rules?
He's 6'9", 265. I don't care how good Kobe is. I don't care how good Kobe is.
Kobe's
gonna weight classes for a reason.
Kobe would shoot him for a double, and LeBron would pick him up by his stomach and power bomb him until he was dead.
Start smashing hammer blows to the back of his dome.
It would be Bob Sapp against Nogueira, except Colby doesn't have a guard.
Well, LeBron is the greatest athlete of our generation. Like, give me a fucking. You think if LeBron decided 10 years ago he wanted to be the greatest fighter in the world, he'd be the greatest fighter in the world right now.
Football player, volleyball player, tennis player,
honestly,
whatever LeBron.
Think about that. Even if LeBron has like a training camp, think about that fight. His reach is like 2 feet longer than Colby's?
Probably like 80.
And then if Colby gets inside on him, you think he's going to be able to outmuscle LeBron. Like, I know fighting is a different sport from other sports, but Like 6 months sprawl training.
Even like Kobe gets a hold of one of the dude's legs, and it's just like, imagine LeBron just grabbing that dude by an arm and just throwing him. Like, come on, he's a giant.
LeBron is 6'9" and thick.
260. Yeah, 260. He's not some beanpole.
That line should be closer than Conor versus Floyd.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the world is crazy with these takes. Like I'm seeing, I feel like this was bad take week. Maybe it's
the Rona.
Well, this was really bad this week. So we had all the stuff we just talked about, and then what was the other one? Sean, you were involved. Oh, the guy. It was some random guy. I think he works for Oddsbreaker. I think he's one of their fake touts guy.
Which one?
He said, I don't know. It's like prediction guru. And he literally said, "Is Costa getting the title shot the most unearned title shot of all time?"
Oh, that was another terrible one.
After his last win was over the guy who just fought for the title.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was some like major battle. He bombed on YOLO, like bombed on fucking YOLO for man. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
So
what the fuck are we doing? There's been worse title shots in the last 2 months.
Who was it? Was it our boy MMA Trader that said every chick title fight? Every single one.
That was me.
Holly Holmes got like
Nick
3
Diaz got
Literally
a title
every
shot.
literally every
Joe
Soto.
Soto, Al Iaquinta. I mean,
Tim Elliott.
I could 50. I could probably literally name 50, maybe 100. All right, so who is more deserving in that division than him?
I would say that Costa has gone above and beyond getting a title shot.
He should have had a title like before YOLO got it after he lost to him.
Yep.
Like, he's not deserving it, but the guy he beat got the title shot.
Yeah, I mean, Costa's legitimately the first, second, third best guy in that entire division. Like
he's great. And honestly, like this is the fight. Not only is he deserving, this is the fight everyone wants to see. It's the perfect stylistic matchup to kind of.
It's a perfect title fight.
It's
everything. It's everything you want in a title fight.
Isn't going to be a YOLO Adesanya.
There is a title fight on this card where one of the guys is less deserving in Błachowicz. He is way less deserving than Costa. Way less deserving.
They're both deserving.
They're both deserving because there's no one else at 2.
In the circle.
He has wins. I mean, he's yeah.
But I'm sorry. So Costa got his title shot off beating YOLO. Jan got his after knocking out a Bellator fighter. So what? I mean, what are we doing?
Like I said, you need to just let these people go and not interact with them because they make
bad.
you dumb.
No, there's some things.
I mean, you can dunk on them.
Yeah.
Just dunk on them and leave. Don't keep going. Just dunk on them and leave.
I mostly stay
somebody after somebody talked about like Trump, and they were like, "Yeah, man, he's been in it from the start. He's been a fan." I was just like, "No, like."
No, he made money off of it. Let's
put a
be real
couple
here.
events on in New Jersey because they tanked the ability for the UFC to get regulated in Nevada. So they had to put events on in the only place where it was fucking regulated before they got it in Nevada. So, and like, there's people that just the Zuffa myth is still out there.
It's still alive and well in this.
It's probably getting worse at this point.
Because Dana White is a cult figure now in the realm of MMA, and people think MMA started with him and Zuffa, and that's as far from reality as you can fucking get.
Well, it's getting worse because there's less like legitimate news now because there's no press conferences the same way everybody's separated, and like there's just like commentary that's coming out of nowhere. A lot more rumors and nonsense.
Yeah, just
and Sean, that's why I gotta get on the Twitter and tell these fuckers what's up.
That's fair.
Yeah,
just don't waste too much time.
I don't do that.
It's one or two, and then
I go.
I got a life to live.
I go two-handed dunk, pull up with the nuts, and then I just walk away.
Lance, you was about 6 tweets deep with that idiot talking about Kobe, him being favored against Kobe and shit.
Oh, that was
getting at you.
he kept getting worse, and I like that guy. That's actually a guy I talk to a good bit.
Yeah.
Like he's just He's just incorrect in these. And I guess I'll end this this whole Russian number 5 situation, which is what I'm going to call him until he beats someone of worse. So I think Russian number 5. I'll say who I think he will fight and who I want him to fight. I don't think he fights Maia next. I'll say that. I don't think that happens. Who I want him to fight. Vicente Luque, and that's because I already hate Russian number 5, and I want to see him go through horrible, horrible things, and I think that's the worst style matchup he could face. Who he will fight, Anthony Pettis.
Oh, that's too easy.
Ooh, that's why it's a good one, and Pettis is going to get murdered.
It's a ranked guy.
What about Magny
It's a big name.
Magny Metal?
No one knows who that is. Who'd you say?
Pettis,
it's too risky.
No, he'd lose that fight.
Yeah, Magny would push him against the cage. He would be so gassed out in 4 minutes. He'd hit him with these stupid. It's going to be Pettis. Pettis is perfect.
Pettis isn't ranked. Pettis is 14.
He is ranked in the UFC. He has a huge name, and he has no skills left. But
he was on
Pettis could beat him. Pettis could submit him on the ground. Pettis still has a good guard. Pettis could grab an armbar in second, third round.
Pettis has submitted better grapplers than this guy.
Not recently.
That's true. Submitted Ben Henderson.
Not recently.
Not recently.
I want to see Dubronx go up to 170 and submit this guy in 30 seconds and just stand over his dead body and laugh at him.
Though Bronx could box his head up. What are we talking about? Anywhere it goes.
Man, is Tony going to take this fight? Tony Dubronx? Dubronx calling him out. First time I've ever seen Dubronx call someone out.
It's pretty amazing that people think this guy has good hands because he threw one punch.
Dude, you don't even understand that power. You don't get it. It's like Connor, he's got that
Ian Heinrich power. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
All right, enough dunking on Russia number 5. Let's go through this shitty card that was last week.
But see, this is why it's worth it for anyone to take a fight against him. People are talking about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was Aaron, my boy.
You really don't think you can beat him? Then.
Well, it was Aaron, my boy, who's Russian number 5's biggest fan at this point, and he was one of the ones that was saying, like, why would anyone fight this guy? And it won't help him in the rankings. And I was like, this is prize fighting. Like. It is the biggest name.
Yeah, you're trying.
And if everybody's hyped on him, even just beating him might move you up the rankings. Well,
absolutely.
Even if he isn't ranked, because he's so hyped.
When you're in the schoolyard and you see the new hotshot who came in from town,
you want some of that.
All the girls are looking at him. You don't mind throwing a punch and hitting him in the face.
Jay, have you seen this guy? None of the girls are looking at him.
Yeah, he's got the rat lip.
Hold up. Did y'all see that fucker? Look, did the interview with him and literally was like, did you get a cut on your lip from training? And he was like, huh? And I was like, I see a little something there. Did you get a cut from training or something? He's like, no, it's always been like it. I was literally like, asking him if he got cut in training because
he's got the Jeff Nadeau lips going on.
Oh God, man. But with all that said, I am excited to see what happens next. I want him to fight someone good, and I guess to kind of end the discussion from like Aaron, like with what I was talking to Aaron about on Twitter was, if you're Jeff Neal or Luque, do you want to fight Leon Edwards or do you want to fight Russian number 5?
And you're probably going to main event the card anyway, so yeah.
And you're either one of those guys is probably going to put him to sleep pretty violently.
And the UFC like spin promotion machine going into whoever that fight would be against would have that guy so hyped up like he's the next huge fucking thing, and they put all of that behind it in case he does win. They got the fucking hype rolling, and you beat that helps your career.
You got to. Why would you not take that fight? And if you're a top 10 guy in the UFC, you don't think you can beat him? Like that's why you're just like no. There's no reward there.
I think
a prize fighter.
I think in the top 10, everybody thinks they can beat anybody on a given night.
So, yeah, absolutely.
I would hope so.
If you're not thinking that way, then you're on the wrong sport.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some guys, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, I don't think Aldo was confident against McGregor. I mean, you see it sometimes.
He absolutely was.
That's a little bit different than a top 10 guy being scared of
he wasn't.
I know it is.
He wasn't worried. He came out
more aggressive. Yeah, he came out more aggressive than we've ever seen him.
He got more emotional than he got more emotional than anything.
Yeah,
he came in like, I need to knock this fucker out, and
Everybody underestimated McGregor.
Nope.
Nobody thought he was good.
I did.
I meant like fighters because they were always talking shit like he hasn't beat anybody.
I was in the Conor train forever.
Last week's card, there's a shit ton of fights, and we don't need to talk about
real quick.
Let's skip all of them.
Tyson Nam, TKO.
Yay, next.
Didn't watch it.
Definitely didn't watch the next fight.
Good for fading him next time.
Yep.
Shout out Randy. Yeah, skip. Shout out Randy Costa. Only straight bet I won.
TKO plus 305.
That's all I got.
Won plus 500, baby.
Yeah, I didn't get those. I'll take the little dog money, but congrats on those. Those were good bets.
That was an easy one.
Canadian pound
like that.
Pound,
we got another fucking some Canadians crying in their
I thought we were gonna have to wait. I didn't think this was the fight. I didn't think it was. I knew it was gonna happen pretty soon.
Yeah.
Didn't think this was it.
This one made me mad because hindsight's 20/20, yes? How obvious was this outcome when you think about the styles?
I know.
Laramie, was going to go right in there for a shot immediately versus a guy who has one weapon. And for some reason, like Brad, so anti-you not to be all over that guy by sub with his only means and just knowing,
especially being a Canadian, like
it was the Canadian bias. It just
you and John are like the first to be like, "Fuck that! I will bet against."
I didn't think it would happen. I thought Laramie had some better sense and jiu-jitsu to get out of that. He served it up to him, man. That's fucking crazy.
And I thought that was a pretty quick tap. The guy's got no balls.
Yeah,
no balls.
He tapped real quick.
He didn't even attempt to fight.
Nope. He just tapped.
And it was like, well, and when the choke was in, I was like, they're in a weird position. I was like, he should be able to like at least attempt to like fight out of this. Like when he gave that quick tap, I was like, oh, never betting again. Like I would never bet this kid. He's soft. Charmin man.
Canadian hype train derailed again.
Yeah, maybe I'll get to bet on him once or twice and then fade him again.
Never know. Dawodu came back after shitting the bed in his first fight.
Yeah, but he's way better at fighting than this little midget guy. The problem with Laramie too is he's tiny. He's this little fella.
Yeah, he's too small.
Baby Shark.
Did you call him like Shirk's son or something like that?
You know it.
It fits.
42. I posted a tweet somewhere that I had.
No,
you'd like it.
I posted a tweet somewhere that was like, Baby Shark and his 42-inch reach, and someone was like, actually, he's got a 66-inch reach.
Excuse me.
Oh, you mean 5'4"?
Really?
5'6"?
Yeah, Wes, you should try this. It's like White Claw, but it's not sweet like White Claw.
God.
It's great. It's really good. Try it.
Stick to
it's way better than the White Claw.
Interesting.
Sold on the Bond.
Do you like how the UFC just lies to us about the rules that we just found out?
The replay
rules? They just lie every fucking
Why?
time
What
they're in
happened
Vegas.
now?
I don't think they know. I don't think they even know what their own rules
are. How fucking
are.
bad are you if you're the biggest promoter on the fucking earth and you don't even know the rules? You've been telling us the whole time that as soon as you go to replay, the fight's over. It only can be used in a fight-ending sequence.
That's true.
That's not true
at all.
No,
it's not true. Do you even watch the fights anymore?
Yeah, it's not true. They look.
I don't think Jay watches MMA. I'm to the point.
That's what they are supposed to be. That's what they've told us all the time.
I know. That's what they've told us, but it's completely wrong.
That's what came out Saturday.
They don't even know their own rules.
There were guys on Twitter
the only TV they have in Florida is soccer.
Yeah.
Team's playing. We're winning. I have to keep it on.
So I guess,
we're winning. Are you on the team?
I've been following this team for all my life.
I say
literally.
Everyone does. All real fans do. I think I guess what we learned from that is he did the right thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
After fucking up 2 straight weeks, allegedly he did what he was supposed to do.
Everyone shit all over.
Crushed.
I don't like it.
Me including.
But here's the problem.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
But here's the problem, right? So they replayed it. They saw it was a clean blow, and it ended up not mattering, right? But let's say that wasn't a women's fight. Let's say that was Yoel Romero versus Tim Kennedy, right? And they called it a legal blow. You can remember Romero got the extra time, and then he recovered, and then he won that fight. Let's say in this case, this girl wins a super clean blow, should have been a finishing blow, and they take 5 minutes to replay, completely recovering from the shot, and then they lose. That's bullshit, because that means you get punished for landing a clean shot. We should not have replay in that situation unless the fight's over.
We saw it last week where somebody got punished for landing.
Ed Herman.
Yeah, Herman. Like, he could have stopped the fight, checked the replay, saw that it was clean, and then you could have continued, even though Herman looked like he was absolutely done.
Stopped. Yeah,
like.
Bullshit.
If you stop the fight, either fucking call it a win for the people that
or no
contest, or call it a no contest. That's how it is. I know nobody likes draws and no contest, but what the fuck are we doing here?
We can't be this far into this sport and it be the officiating be this bad. We can't. It changes careers, man.
It is because it's government run. There's no other sport that's government run, so nothing fucking changes.
Yeah,
well, boxing, but yeah.
Well, well, if you think of boxing, great example of real good.
They're still run by the same athletic commissions though that run.
It's crooked as fuck.
Well, and then,
exactly.
They don't have instant replay.
Well, this one was
boxing's got instant replay.
Yeah.
Do they stop the fight?
Yeah, they can stop fights with instant replay.
Do they return to the fight too?
I'm not sure. I don't know the exact rule, but they definitely got instant replay.
Yeah, and this one was the reverse of the comeback and bad decision because this chick got her ass whooped. That
she got a wedding in 2 weeks or 3 weeks,
and then got a break, and then got her ass whooped.
Dude, that next 5 minutes was, and like if I'm the ref in that situation, you know what I'm doing? Because if I'm a ref, I think it's bullshit too. The first punch that's landed, I'm like, whoa,
you got a short leash, real short leash
like,
after you saw what happened.
Clean jab, I'm jumping in. Like if I find out it's legal, I'm stopping the fight for literally nothing because that person got fucked.
Chick fight or not, any fighter on a UFC roster that has a performance like that against a bum, I don't care who it is, and they only got $13 in their bank account, like this shit's kind of fucked, man. They're fighting on ESPN and shit, and literally got $13 in their bank account.
Medium pizza.
Like,
tapped.
You can't even buy a fucking Domino's with $13. Like,
this is the sport we love.
If you want,
gotta wait for Tuesday nights.
You gotta go to the coupons on the app.
Gotta get the Uber Eats first time discount or whatever.
Well, the crazy thing to me that hasn't been, it's happened once when I forget who it was. It was a cunt versus someone where it was like the fixed fight. It is crazy that fixed fights have not happened just all the time.
Lance, how could you possibly forget bang cunts?
Bang
cunts. Come on.
But like when you think about it, right? Like this chick has $13 to her name. The UFC's paying her $12,000. You're telling me if some mobster comes and says, "Hey, I'll give you, $500,000 to throw this fight."
$100,000.
If they give her $100,
there's 3 shares of Domino stock.
I mean, how big are these limits at the legal books now? Like, can you actually get 20, 30 grand down at these sites or not? The legal ones.
Yeah.
Like, what's the biggest limit they got? 10?
Well, I mean, 10K? DraftKings does. I mean, DraftKings and those big ones, I think, have big limits. And even if if I had money and I was an idiot, if I wanted to bet $500,000 on a fight, I could. I could go to 20 casinos. Yeah. I could go to 10 off sport books.
Yeah, you could.
Not a problem.
You'd have to do it all at the same time though, because if one of those books gets hit hard, then fucking there's got to be a red flag going up.
Well, yeah,
especially when you got touts betting fucking $20 a unit on this fucking website.
Did Bang get killed after he won Didn't he win the fight?
He went to jail. Or he got investigated by their.
I made a bunch of money on that fight.
Did they kill his
family? Me too.
Yeah, we all did.
Yep.
Did they kill his family though?
I don't think
like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it was a Singapore card or some shit.
Like, what the
pussies
fuck is going on here? I'm putting more on it. Fucking.
It's worth it. It went from minus 200 to plus 400. That was fun.
Oh, way higher. It was like
it was minus 300 to start, and I think it was plus 200
and it went up
300 after. Yeah,
I thought it went even more. I thought it was like plus 700 or something by the time.
No, it wasn't.
They pulled it off a lot of books and shit
a couple times.
That. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, on to these other shitty fights.
We don't even need to talk about the next one.
Another women's fight, another armbar.
Another armbar from guard.
You betcha. That's the women's special right there.
Jay's favorite fighter, giving us more chances to fade.
Jesus Christ, man.
Leech
sub.
We were talking about physical and mental, physically this guy's a top 10 dude. Mentally, I don't know what he is.
He's terrible.
He's not good.
He's a choke artist with
He's not
all the physical skills and zero, I guess, no chin and no fight IQ.
He's not like a legit cage fighter, I don't think.
No, I think
once he gets put into just a slight bit of bad situation, he's done, man. That guy.
So, I'm surprised he didn't tap in that.
This is the guy that you see, like they look, when you watch, the Mel Kipers or all those guys. Oh, they're looking at like he's playing like this. Is the guy who's playing like
great measurables, Jay. Yeah, he's got great measurables.
Yep. Well, here's a
Bruce Scrubs, and you like it looks great it looks great, but then once he
drops every pass.
So here's the problem. So he's a quitter for one, right? And like when he gets in trouble, he's done. He doesn't fight out of adversity. We've seen a lot of guys like this. Here's the difference between Bektic. Bektic can't finish guys. You know who is exactly like Bektic, but gets first round finishes all the time and is hugely popular? He stopped doing that. He stopped doing that. He stopped. Look at the Kevin Lee fight and a bunch of fights. No, but you know a perfect example of that? A guy that quits as soon as he's in adversity, yet he's a top 5 fighter? Anthony Rumble Johnson. Anthony Rumble Johnson is exactly like Bektic, except he gets first round finishes.
He's got power to
and if he doesn't, he quits. So if Bektic had first round power or first submissions and got guys out of there quick, we wouldn't be talking about that. No one talks about Rumble as a quitter. They talk about his power. It's the same exact situation, but he does not finish guys. He is a wrestler.
Rumble crumbles.
I nailed that. That was perfect.
That's good. That's
nailed it.
Bronx
moving on.
Does not quit.
Moving
ever.
Moving
on. Yeah, he's way different now. He used to maybe shell up
the Kevin Lee fight, and there were some other fights where he just kept moving.
We know. We are the Bronx freight train.
All right, this guy Dvorak.
Wrong. Wrong. So wrong.
Wrong. Let's move on. Kevin Holland, Darren Stewart, split decision.
I thought the right guy
scary.
won.
Yeah, the right guy won that fight.
Right guy won, but that
I felt very good about my Stewart bet.
You could draw was probably the correct score.
I don't think there was quite enough.
There wasn't enough damage in third. You got to go one way or the other. I think it's a tough coin flip.
By Lance's standards, Lance is very consistent about this, so that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. He got fucked up pretty good in the third round.
So the thing I kind of look at too with the 10-8s versus 10-9s, right? So
he even said that.
He did. He thought it was a draw. Kevin Holland thought it was a draw.
He was just concussed from all the elbows that landed on him in the third round.
I think one way I also like to look at 10-8s versus 10-9s, right? Like, look at the first round and the second round, right? Those were clear 10-9s. Was the third round not way more dominant?
That doesn't matter, Lance. We've talked about this a million fucking times. Are we really going to hash this out?
We can't go into this discussion
again. It was a dominant.
You need damage. It was not.
There was no damage in the third. Are you talking
not that much?
No, not really. No.
And when did he get ground control? He didn't even have it for the whole round. Like it was.
Yeah, it was like a couple minutes.
It was enough.
Ass in the third. That was
whatever. It was a coin flip fight. I got lucky because I bet him big, and I shouldn't have bet Holland. One way.
That's a 10-8. Okay, need more 10-8s.
If they ran this fight back and say 2 or 3 months, who wins?
Holland.
It's probably a coin flip again.
Stewart.
Holland.
Yeah, coin flip. There you go.
I thought Stewart could have won round 2 as well.
Yeah.
To be fair.
It's legitimate. It was close.
And definitely won round 3.
The reason I would say more coin flip is because one guy goes Mookie way too often, but he's way more talented than Stewart. He's so much far. He's way
is he
more.
Though?
Yes. When he's not doing dumb shit and getting,
he's always doing dumb shit.
He is doing dumb shit.
There's when he's not doing dumb shit. He is dumb shit.
He's dumb.
I don't hate your bet on Stewart, and I would fully expect you to bet on Darren Stewart.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on Holland again. Speaking of mooks.
Oh, man.
Random
Brian and Johnny Walker.
Mukos did exactly what we said she was going to do, except for the people that thought she was not going to do that.
She did exactly what she said she wasn't going to do.
Of course.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Why would you ever go to the ground with this girl? Bad decision.
She jumped. That was so funny.
Idiot. Absolute idiot. Next.
Canadian. Anyway, Walker and Span.
Jay, you can't call us idiots. You guys are about to let an orange toupee man steal your election.
Very true.
We all have our faults.
We're a month and a half away. Let's see what happens.
This was a mookie ass fight, eh?
Yeah, this was fun though. This was fun as
well.
This is one of the two scenarios of how it's going to play out. This is just the way it is.
I don't know.
Knockout. What was the other scenario?
Johnny Walker,
he doesn't knock him out in the first 2 minutes, and then that's it.
Except he almost got knocked the fuck out like he did against Corey Anderson. Like this dude is done, so he's got no chin at 205.
Yeah, man. I would have thought if that happened to Walker, I was thinking if that happened earlier to Walker, it's over. He's done. I'm shocked. I'm shocked he won that fight.
Like it's surprising that Span did not get that finish. That's pretty mookie ass shit to hurt him how much he did and not get a finish there. Never mind, get fucking smashed seconds later.
That guy's toast.
What happens in MMA though? Sometimes.
What an idea to shoot the double there.
Dumb.
The sloppy on your knee,
and then just
blowing the
allow him to tee off. Not get the fuck out of there. Just let him tee off on the back of your head.
Well, if you're winning like that, it's not only just like with how MMA is now. Like those elbows like that are very common in MMA now. Like they've been more common even the last year, right? Yep. Why are these guys shooting doubles and staying on their knees with their head outside like that? Like you have to know that it's coming. Hit yourself like this. You get rattled just doing this. These doubles, like you're taught, like you guys didn't wrestle, but like one of the things you're taught when you're shooting double leg takedowns when you wrestle is
it doesn't count because I'm Canadian, huh?
Yes, it's not American wrestling. I don't know what your coaches say. You don't stop driving. That is the key to a successful double leg to get the takedown. You do not stop driving. As soon as you stop momentum and stop driving forward, it's over. Yet in MMA, it's like hurry. Get down and stand still and just try if you can do this real quick.
There is a cage.
Get against the cage and rest.
But what the not stop driving with the cage is as you shoot, you need to be turning the corner the whole time, and they don't turn the corner quick. Like when you shoot, even if there was a cage, they're shooting and pushing straight. You need to push, put your head in like this, and use your head as a lever, and then you turn the corner quick. You don't just stop on your knees.
And it makes it so much easier to finish fucking takedowns too.
Yeah,
like
so frustrating.
So frustrating. Johnny Walker is going nowhere fast. That guy doesn't even got a bad chin.
Huge power.
I think he's got a chin.
Big power.
He better land it.
Is it big power though? Like those elbows knock out anybody.
Yeah, but he has big power in other fights. He has first round knockout. He has big power.
That's true.
Yeah. But he's a mook.
We might get a good line on him.
Not even a mook. Zero chin. Anybody hits him flush, he's done. I mean,
if Anderson is fucking knocking you out, you know it's a bad sign.
I'm shocked he won that fight. And it's more Spawn that did, like Lance said, just the dumbest shit you could ever imagine.
That he did. We don't have to talk about the next one. We've already beat that shit to death.
Cerrone, Nico Price co-main event draw.
Yes, it was.
Nice done, Brad. Nice live draw.
Correct score. I thought that was a correct score.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like Dana loves rolling corpses out, and I thought Cowboy actually looked what you would expect. I didn't think he looked overly washed. I thought he took a lot of huge shots that guys that would be completely washed wouldn't have taken. And I thought at times he showed okay offensive output. I thought that was how I expected Cowboy to look. A little bit, right? Like I kind of expected. I don't think he's completely trash.
He's always been a slow starter too. So nothing shocking about that a guy like Price comes out and just puts it all over him.
And he won the third. Versus a tough guy.
Dominated the third.
Yeah.
But if you fight a guy that has a gas tank and can throw some heat, that's going to be a problem.
He's not going to be a contender.
No, I'm just saying he might get fucked up.
I hope they don't go too far past the Nico Prices of the world, and I wouldn't mind watching Cowboy fight a few more times as long as we can
fight the old guys like fucking Lawler and shit. Well, I guess they already did that one, but that's the type of guys he should be fighting.
Just do a rematch here.
Yeah,
I guess we can do that too.
It was a fun fight. I thought it was a good, exciting action fight too for what Nico is. He's usually a fun fighter, but you're gonna give Cowboy what they do to some of these aging vets and give him these young up and coming guys. I don't want to see that.
No one wants to see that.
He'll probably
fight random Russian number 5 next.
Yeah, actually that wouldn't be terrible because he'd sub him from his back for sure.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. He didn't fight old, like aside from the first couple minutes, which is just like a normal cowboy thing. But he looks fucking
rough.
old.
His body.
I thought
Not just his face, his
body,
body's
face,
soft.
everything. Yeah,
he's
droopy.
definitely got the droopy older man muscles and shit going on. But I thought he looked good in like burst of that fight. There was times when he looked really good striking, and other times when he would go a minute and a half to where he looked kind of old and slow. There was good
shots he shouldn't have taken too.
Yeah,
like he took shots that I thought would put him out several times over from a guy like Price.
I was doing that a lot.
Yeah, I thought he was done several times in the first round, but he settled down nicely. I thought he won a few minutes in the second round, dominated the third round.
Yep.
I don't think he's watched. I thought Dana White saying I got to have that talk with Cowboy. It's like, and at the same time you're talking about putting this hyped up prospect that you think is the greatest of all time versus Demi and Maya. Like, dude, pick a battle.
We just got smashed by
pick a battle, man.
Do we have to talk about the main event? I mean,
you goof.
Everything exactly what we thought was going to happen.
Kobe's the beast.
Except for the rib injury.
I got a little luck. I cashed a little inside the distance live bets. I'll take it.
I had round 5 plus 2,300.
I bet he meant inside the distance.
When is the last time Tyron won a round in a fight?
It's like 12.
Jaron Till
rounds or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Till. It's been 15.
It has to be.
The Kobe points handicap though.
That was one of the best bets
of the year.
Yeah.
Of the absolute year.
Yeah.
I think the last points handicap that I liked that much was Cormier against Dan Henderson.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
That's how far we have to go back for those.
What was the line? 5.5?
Yeah, 5.5 minus 130, 140, 140.
It opened at like plus 110.
Yeah.
It moved real quick. I got minus 130. I think Sean, you got minus 140.
That was the point where
but even
Cormier
still,
lost like one round his entire career at that point. If he'd even lost.
I don't remember the line for the Cormier Henry.
I think it was like 9.5.
But I'm just remembering Cormier never lost any rounds. He won almost every round he's ever been in. At that until he fought John. Yeah.
Kobe's a jackass, but man, he's good at this.
Colby is.
Is there really anybody saying that he's not good at this point? Everybody just either hates him because he's an asshole piece of shit.
Someone told me he was a cardio kickboxer a couple days ago.
Yeah, stop that. Look,
Lance,
wasn't that the same guy saying that?
What's going
wasn't
on
that the
here?
same guy that was saying Chimaev was gonna be a favorite to him or something?
Yeah, I think it was. Kobe's fucking good, man. Say what you want, but his hands look decent. His wrestling is always on point. His cardio is ridiculous.
He's more than good.
He's great. He's the second best guy in the fucking division by a mile.
That guy's a great fighter. He's also turned into a stone cold racist.
Yeah, he's
and if we can't separate those two, us on this show have done for years now, I love Greg Hardy as a fighter. He's a fucking piece of shit.
Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah,
he's a piece of shit too.
Exactly, man.
Perry.
James Perry. We always hated him.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Hope he gets YMCA'd again.
Lance talks about these guys on Twitter and shit, and it's either one extreme or the other. They can't separate it. So you're on that side of how he feels about a lot of things. So you fucking love Kobe, or you're not, which I'm not either. And they think he's trash. Oh, he's a cardio kickboxer. He's fucking boring. That guy's
fighter.
If we're going to talk about it like it's a sport, you have to be able to separate what goes on inside and what goes on outside.
It's hard with him though, because he's brought it into the sport. His whole thing is brought into when he's after that fight talking to Usman in a cage, telling his tribe to send smoke signals and shit. That is stone cold racist shit inside the cage. And when
nobody from the UFC said a fucking word.
When a sponsorship has to come out and
did you expect them to, Brad?
Oh God, no.
Oh.
Yeah, but they've said some shit before when guys drop the old homophobic slur and shit like that. They say they're gonna reprimand them. Now they're just letting it buck.
Dana called Loretta Hunt a cunt back in the day. So.
In his defense,
Well,
Dana can't really do anything about this.
He does the same shit.
He's in bed with him. Like it's one and the same. He can't reprimand Cody. He can't do it.
He was at the rally with the dude last week, so
disappointingly so. So
the rally.
So was our boy. More like a super spread.
Yeah, the rally. Anyway, I think that's enough of this card. Let's go to let's go to next week.
What's the first fight on this card?
Okay,
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
That's a good call.
It is.
I don't know who these guys are. Oh, this is the guy that loses a lot.
The worst Russian in the UFC. Kadis Ibragimov taking on Danilo Marques. This guy's a giant.
God damn, Jay. What's going on? Miami.
I know what's going on in your hometown, so they're getting ready.
That's got to be Louisville. That's got to be Louisville in the background of this.
All right. The only thing, nobody gives a fuck about this fight, right? The only thing I'll say, this Marques guy, the last guy he beat is 5-5. The second last guy he beat is 0-21.
Sounds like Chimiev.
I sprinkled a little on the under. I think one of these dudes are just gonna blast the other one out, or something dumb gonna happen.
Hard pass.
Under 2.5.
You can't. If anyone has their money on this Russian, I don't know. He's literally the worst Russian I've seen in the UFC. And
under.
There's got to be worse.
I'm not sure. Nushan? You think he's the worst Russian in the UFC?
He's up there. He's up there. You're losing decisions to fucking Herman.
Didn't he get knocked out by Daeun Young?
It's bad, man.
Dong Jung. He got choked out by Dong Jung.
He doesn't, the lineup of the Russian fighters, he doesn't, he doesn't have what the other guys got. So
looks like we got a goal, Jay. I see some celebration going on.
I'm hoping not. Don't say that.
Let's keep going. I want to watch the second half of this basketball game.
Oh yeah, what's the score?
Heat are up 6 at half.
Juan Espino taking on Jeff Hughes in a fatty's gonna fatty competition. Absolutely. I think Brad is betting the over here. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I am too. This is fatty all over it.
I don't know, man.
There's fat stuff everywhere.
I feel like Espino could get a sub here quick.
Yep.
Hughes is tough. I think Espino's going to lay on him a little bit before he can catch something.
Probably right.
Anyway, we can break this one down a little bit. I know Newshawn, I think, is betting on it too.
Yeah, it is sketchy. Back in Espino, hasn't fought since in 2 years, basically. He's a lot better fighter. He is 39 years old, so that's sketchy as fuck too. I think he's still the better fighter. Jeff Hughes is not good. I think Espino does get him down and eventually subs him. It might get fat before that happens, but I think it happens at some point. So I put him in a small 1 unit parlay.
You're right about the goal, Lance. Willie was for the good guys. Anyway, let's move on. Wes, any thoughts on besides the fatty option? I guess you like Espino here. Yeah,
I agree with pretty much what Sean said. He's the better guy here, and 39 years old, but he's like a young 39 as far as fight time in the cage and stuff. Once this hits the mat, it's just a matter of time. But I think it could get a little sloppy. I'm just going to take a little fatties, sit back and watch the sloppiness.
Brad, I think you are. Are you on the fatties too?
I was looking for something to parlay a very nice line on that's later in the card, and the fatties here at minus 140, minus 150, around that territory, I thought was a pretty good choice because Hughes can take some punishment. I don't think he's going to be super easy to get down in this case, so I think this is going to take a little bit of time, and this dude hasn't fought in forever, so. What did you guys say about the first fight? By the way, it's
nothing.
We
said nothing.
It's a low-key banger, guys.
Ibragimov might be the worst Russian in the UFC, Brad.
And the guy's fighting has fought a guy that was 5-5 last time and 0-21 before that.
I was gonna say he's fought 3 guys that are 500 or better in his career, and he's 1-2 in those fights.
Yep. So
the Russian
hopefully
might
somebody gets knocked
win.
out very quickly, and we can pass that.
No. 15 minutes of pain.
No.
Lance, we got a Brazilian that's watching tonight. Lucas Fernando Borges Sales. He says Kimiev is the devil.
Is he?
Agreed. Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn?
He also says Israel's better champion from Brazil.
I don't.
I mean,
I don't know what that means, but Jew power, baby. I don't think you can trust Espino. I think there's a big difference between 37 and 39. I don't know. I feel like a 2-year layoff when you're getting 39, like that, you're fucking old. Like you're getting close to 40. But with the fatty's gonna fatty, I can see where you're coming from because if Espino can't take him down, there's no power on the feet, and it's gonna be one of those like nothing fights. But if Espino gets him down, he's gonna finish, and I think he's gonna finish pretty quickly. I think 2 fights in his whole career I saw have gone past the first. So when this guy gets you down, he's usually gonna finish you. But no play here unless it comes down.
Have you seen a Jeff Hughes fight?
yeah, really.
Yeah, but has Jeff Hughes faced like a dominant jiu-jitsu guy who subs everyone?
Yeah, those don't exist at lower level heavyweight.
I wouldn't say dominant jiu-jitsu guy.
Well, I mean, he is a jiu-jitsu. That's all he does.
Dominant, the Spanish dominant jiu-jitsu guy. Got
it. He's only jiu-jitsu.
Didn't he? I thought he went to some decisions. He went to a decision with Ben Sassoli, that terrible fucking on Tough. Yeah.
He's a tough fella. He's gone to decision like official fights twice in his career, right. I think. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm gonna pass unless something crazy happens with the line. But yeah, it doesn't look like I'll have a play on this one.
I have Espino D, with Hughes D minus. I think Espino may not be able to get him down really early on, and it's just gonna be Fatty's Fatty situation. But I think Espino's a little bit of a better fighter. I just don't think Hughes has anything dynamic that he can, take over a fight with.
You like that, Wes?
I like
a big pumpkin.
All right.
It's a booty.
Let's move on.
That looks like a bleached asshole right there.
I wore this part out.
Nice.
Did you have Bo over to your house? Did Bo come over and mistake that for a sleeve?
Is this because of who's fighting next?
Bo found out they were legalizing betting in Tennessee, so we had to go down and open some accounts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bang out one of Lance's porch pumpkins.
Oh shit!
Big Willie,
Thick Willie,
Thick Willie,
Pringles,
Thick Willie.
Same thing.
No, Thick Willie.
It's probably both. It's probably
Jay,
both.
Jay, ask your wife if it's more about the bigness or the girthness.
I'll save that till after the show. All right, I got taking on Alexa Camur. Interesting matchup. Light heavyweight.
Alexa the Cam girl.
Yeah, only fangirl.
I don't have much on this fight. I honestly don't remember Alexa Camur fighting. Supposedly he was on season 3 of the Contender Series and he fought on the McGregor card. But I don't remember him. Thick Willie looked good on the Contender Series. The bonus on this, the Greek Chicklets likes the Camur. So I think we know which way I'll be picking. I haven't decided if I'm going to bet it yet.
Okay. Wes.
Yeah. Now that I know that information, I might have to have a little money on an underdog here. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this fight because I'm not sure how much we've gotten to see of Knight yet. And man, he was on his back, before.
He's always on his back.
I know. I'm just that, I don't know what to think of this other dude. But that none of that matters anymore. Now that we know that fucking the Greek fraud is on it's pretty much an auto bet on a plus money dog for me. So Knight's the pick and the bet. You don't really need any other breakdowns than Chicklets, baby.
Yep.
All right, Bradford.
This is Thick Willie against a guy that's not going to take him down and get back mount. And if he loses the early part of this fight, it just means that the guy's going to land a couple punches on him, which is like that's light work for Thick Willie. He's used to just getting dominated early on in a fight. But this dude
does every fight shit pushed in.
And then he just pops up and knocks the guy out. Like, it's incredible. This dude is one of the best dudes to watch in MMA right now. The one loss that he has is to that dude that was on Contender Series a few weeks back that everybody is like blowing up about because he killed a dude and had him on the mat for like 10 minutes. Yeah. But that guy's a good striker. Like, it legitimately slow pace and whatever, but he's a good striker and managed to get Thick Willie out of there. But Alexa, show me a fighter that sucks. And Alexa just pops up herself. And that's what happens. Thick Willie's going to take this one. Like, this dude, once he gets past the first couple of minutes, nothing. Can't hang with the thickness.
Probably right.
Plus 150. Got it already. Line's coming down. Bring it.
Yeah, I like my boy Big Dick Willie here. He's been in places that you don't want to be, and he survives.
Right.
And I think he's a little bit. I think he's a little bit Derek Lewis to me. He's got vicious ground and pound. Mm-hmm. He gets himself in trouble. He loses early. He doesn't mind getting punched in the face and dominated, and he ends up winning. He does have that little bit of Derek Lewis in him. He's got third round finishes, late finishes after he's losing. He's the 205 Derek Lewis if he took a bunch of steroids and shit. And I think on this fight, Willie's going to be the one that's taking this thing to the ground. I think Willie gets him on the ground, and his ground and pound is like Derek Lewis, ferocious. Like, this dude gets on top. Like, if when he gets in a dominant position, if he gets in mount or anything like that, like, you just know it's over. No human can take those shots from the top from him. And I like him in this fight. I think the line is way off. I don't understand. Are they thinking he's going to just knock him out early? Because Thick Willie doesn't get knocked out early. So this is the Munich play of the week. If you probably could have guessed this just by weigh-in pictures that this was going to be Munich. I would call this on brand for the Munich play of the week. But he's last time I think he's like plus 150. So I think wrong guy favored. So yeah, Munich play of the week. William, Big Dick Willie.
I just hope he can make weight with that Pringles can stuffed in there.
Yeah, that's why it's hard for him. That's why he's 205, even though he's only 5'10". That's a lot of weight to carry around.
Yeah,
hammer.
I'll have to think about that part. Both guys D+. Interesting matchup. Seen Camur a couple times. Seems to have some talent, but does like a lot of leg kicks, and never really in your face. It's tough. I mean, I think he's got like pretty good agility for the weight class. I'm just not sure he has like the finishing ability to hurt Big Willie, and that's going to be a problem here. And as the longer the fight goes on, I could see him tiring. I could see Willie taking over, maybe even a second, third round finish. I wouldn't see it's out of the scorecards. I think that's certainly a possibility. I think Willie late gets the job done as the dog. All right, let's move on. Shane Young, I think someone here likes him. I think taking on. I don't know who's seen this guy. Ludwig Klein?
Ludwig Borga. Jay, come on.
Oh, sorry.
Classic wrestler.
Yeah, right.
I don't think anyone likes Shane Young. I think Brad said, I like Shane Young in this fight, but I've never heard of his opponent. I
did say pretty much exactly that. Yeah. I think my exact quote was, without having ever seen his opponent, I think Shane Young wins. Yeah.
Also on brand for the podcast. I've never heard of him, but hammer play.
I've never seen Ludwig fight. He fought Sajewski last time, who is 1-7 in his last 8 fights, and he's been 1-6, and he's been finished in all those losses except one.
That's terrible.
And then he fought Zhao Souza, who's 0-4 in his last 4, and he's got finished every time except one. So this guy is beating up some veterans that are past their prime, but I don't think Shane Young's good either. So I'll pick Shane Young, but I don't want money on this. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not a good fight. Wes, do you have any thoughts there?
Sean's pretty much dead on here. I don't. I guess you're just, if you're betting on this fight, it's more of a guy that's got a little bit of cage experience. That's about it. I've seen like some highlights of those two fights Sean's talking about, and he's destroying guys that are probably completely done. But I don't know. Shane Young, you can say he trains at probably one of the better gyms on the planet now, though. So that's got to count for something.
He's like the worst guy there, though.
Yeah,
he's everybody's bitch.
He's the punching bag. He gets no time with the coaches. They just throw him in there for like when the guy's like, "We need 2 more rounds." They're like, "Throw in Shane."
I mean, he's like
perfect for this fight.
He's like minus 110 or something. This guy though, so I don't know. I don't know enough about the other dude, so it's a pass for me. I'll have to pick Shane Young, but I can't bet it.
Okay, Brad, are you going to do it are you blind betting Young?
I might. Like it's getting to that point. If it hits even money, I'll bet on the dude that has been in the cage with the current featherweight champ against a guy who has faced nobody. And the guys that he's faced that are almost somebody's are way faded. Dude's getting finished. Like Sean said, Sajewski's been finished in like 17 of his past 12 fights. And just stuff like that. Like he's facing really, really bad competition. So yeah, I'd like a guy that's been in there with some real competition, is training at a real gym, and he's not the most skilled guy in the world, but I think he's tough enough to get past the early power that this guy seems to have, and probably win a decision. So if this gets down to even money, I'll take a shot on Shane Young. Get the night started off right for all of these city kickboxing guys, because it's not going to end right.
Lance, you're passing on this fight, right?
Maybe.
I'd make a pretty compelling case, though.
Well, it's more in the line movement. I didn't like him when he was minus 150, but it keeps going down and down and down. So how did Volkanovski fight Shane Young? Don't they both?
It was before they trained together.
Yeah. Oh, was Shane Young not there before? Yes. Because he watched the mats, but he had to train somewhere else.
Yeah. He was hanging out in the chicken parm section.
Yeah, the line does seem weird. God, it's down to minus 105 at places. Like, he's the underdog now versus a guy that no one really knows much about, taking the fight on short notice. And Shane Young hasn't looked horrible. Like, he hasn't looked like this scrub by any means. I mean, he's won his last couple fights, and his only loss was to Volkanovski. Not terrible. And this, Ludwig van Beethoven fella, like, I don't know anything about him. He beats up losers, I guess. That's cool. So yep. I don't know, but Shane Young just always looks like he could lose at any second. Like, it looks like at any second when he's winning a fight, whatever, I'm like, he could lose any second now. Like, he just has that vibe that he could just instantly get knocked out. I don't know why. But I think when he gets the even money, like, I don't know, that's getting close to having to throw a little tester out there.
Maybe a Munich and a Hamburg this week.
We already got that for later on the card.
What about a Dortmund?
Donnie Donowitz.
Jay, what do you got?
I don't know anything about
you.
I don't know anything about Klein, so I really can't say. But I mean, I don't think it's a bad angle to potentially play a guy who's actually looked decent in the UFC versus a guy who's coming in with no real fanfare. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I imagine that's probably not, like, there are worse angles in the world. So, all right, let's move on. Don't know why this isn't the headliner, but of the prelim card. But Diego Sanchez taking on Justin Bieber wannabe Jake Matthews. New Sean?
I'm conflicted.
Are you believing?
I'm conflicted on this fight because Diego is such a train wreck. He was getting beat pretty good by Pereira until he took the the cheap way out, which I mean,
No.
he can
took
do
the
that.
right way out, baby.
He got
cash money on that bet, baby.
Just talk to Anthony Smith about that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We aren't all as smart as Anthony Smith. Yeah, so he's looked bad. He got completely out-grappled by Chiesa. And Jake Matthews is a decent wrestler. I don't think Jake Matthews is dumb enough to try to go for subs. I think he's smart enough that Diego's pretty much unsubbable. So I think he's going to look to punch him when he gets him down. But Jake Matthews is not good either. And like, they give him cupcake fights. It seems like they want him to be something.
Yes.
I mean, I guess they don't give him cupcake fights. He fought some okay guys. But he's got some in there that are pretty crazy.
Has he fought some okay guys though? Like he fought Kevin
Shanghai.
Lee and got
Yeah.
his shit pushed in.
Shanghai.
Tony Martin's okay.
Jangalang. That was a good win.
That's his only.
Lost to Tony Martin.
Yes, correct.
He was
Jangalang's
winning that
his-
fight though, but
Pretty
Lost
heavy.
to Tony Martin. Lost to Tony Martin in round 3.
yeah, that's bad. That's why I'm conflicted in this fight. Like Diego, he still seems like he has that motor, but fuck, man, I don't know what to do here. Bet Online came out with some crazy props, so I had to sprinkle on a bunch of them. I don't think you guys care about them, so I'll just leave it to tweet it out.
Wes?
I've bet Diego in like his last 3 or 4 fights, like every single one. I've hit a couple really
On
nice.
TV?
He's getting absolutely smoked here. He's getting smoked here. That guy is so far gone. He's looked so bad, and it's like the Pereira win. He looked horrible. I mean, he was getting fucked up, man, and he took the right way out. I'm happy.
Pereira's an idiot, but
yeah,
he took the way out.
If the Pereira that showed up in his last fight showed up in that one, he'd have fucking mauled Diego in a fucking round and a half. I like Matthews here inside the distance. Sean talked about a prop. I think he likes the TKO line. Matthews is going to finish Diego in this fight. Come on, man. It's been the end on Diego for a while now. We all know it. We've gotten lucky on some nice hits. The Mickey Gall fight was just the most perfect fight that Diego could have ever had in the past 5 years, and he did what we thought he would. Man, this is a bad fight for Diego, man. Think what you want about Matthews. He's got decent takedown defense, and he does hit hard. Way better striking than Diego. I just don't see him surviving it for 15 minutes. So I like Matthews inside the distance, or I believe it's like plus 140 or something like that.
Brad, you're going to get
I got TKO at plus 400.
Brad, are you willing to get wild?
That's a good one.
With the yes man?
Probably not. I want to. I want to, but man, he's probably just going to get out wrestled a bunch in this fight, and Matthews is going to lay on top of him. I'm not on board with the inside the distance or the TKO prop or any of that sort of stuff. Not even at plus 400. Like Diego's been finished from some guys, but they're guys that actually know how to throw punches. And has Matthews ever finished anyone?
Yeah, he's got a bunch of subs.
He's got a bunch of subs. Okay. Yes. So is he going to sub Diego?
No.
Seems extremely unlikely.
So he's going to win a decision here.
Could a stiff win hurt Diego now? Yeah.
I mean, Diego's been shot for half a decade. We know that, but even a shot Diego still has a little bit of durability to him. You know, we've seen Matthews lose rounds late in fights to guys who aren't good. Like he definitely lost the 3rd round to fucking the Viking dude that he fought in his last fight. That guy sucks. He got out wrestled by. Oh no, he out wrestled Jordan Mean, which like nothing impressive there. Anyways, I think that Jake Matthews probably cruises to a pretty wide decision here. I just can't get behind him going out and absolutely smoking Diego in this fight. I just don't see it.
Lance, you're going to get wild. Are you going to play doggy?
So I've bet like Wes. I have bet Diego 3 of the last. I think actually all the last 4 fights. The last time I didn't bet him was against Matt Brown. I bet him versus Craig White, Gall, Chiesa, Cajera, and the fact that I came out 3-1 in that is crazy. And I'm gonna keep it at that. I'm gonna keep it at that. I'm not betting Diego here. He seems to be getting worse, and I think Diego's only way to win fights right now is to be able to get a guy down, land him a little bit, and do some ground.
Tire him out.
Take a beating. Take a beating for 5 minutes.
but we think to be but if the Mickey Gall fight and the White fight, like he was the better wrestler in those fights, so that's how he could win those fights. He's not the better wrestler here. I think Matthews is actually the better wrestler. I think Matthews is the better striker. And I think Matthews gets the finish. Matthews can have some pretty vicious ground and pound, and we've seen Diego get knocked out a few times in the last few years. And I think Matthews just beats the shit out of him here. I don't see this as competitive whatsoever. And weirdly enough, I think the line's right at like minus 700 for Jake Matthews. So don't waste your money, man. Like people are going to be taking shots all over the place on Diego plus 500 because it's plus 500 and it's Diego. The Matthews isn't great. Don't do it. There's no point to do that. Matthews he's a head case. He fucks some stuff up, but he's a pretty good fighter. And I feel like the last couple fights, he seems like he's finally learned how to fight a little bit smarter. And I think this is the easiest fight he's had in a bit. So yeah,
if the guys on this show aren't taking 500 on Diego, it's probably not a good bet to take.
We love the old
Diego
guy.
round 3 plus the 3,300
has no chance of winning.
If you want some Diego, take that.
Sanchez if plus 1,200. There you go.
Yeah, if I see a plus 3,300 and I'm not taking it, don't take it.
Yeah.
They got Diego a D and Matthews D plus. I mean, Lance, I think, broke this down really well. I mean, there's a lot of issues with both guys, but at the same time, it's like this matchup actually works for Matthews because, I mean, Diego's not going to hold him down the same way. I mean, Matthews is physically pretty strong, probably like fits more at welterweight. I mean, Diego's chin is toast. That's a struggle. I mean, the way Diego wins fights is that he brings guys to the ground that can't really wrestle, and the guys have to completely tire out, and he can just hold on to them for decision. The decision prop, I looked at it, 635. I think I saw 650. Not like it's only $1 different than the decision, even at that.
1,200.
What?
1,200 at Bet Online.
Yeah, you got to get better books.
I need a Bet Online account now.
Did I read that
Bet
wrong?
Online 1,200. I might have sprinkled.
You don't have that shit down in Florida? Come on.
Yes, they do. It's anywhere in America. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm looking at best fight odds right now.
Next fight.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I see 900 somewhere.
Who skipped this Brad Riddell fight? Who's that anyway?
He's the guy that he's the guy that should be good, but it doesn't seem like he is.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. He's facing Alex De Silva, who I don't remember.
I sprinkled on Silva. Riddell should be better than he is, but he gets into stupid fights, and he also like stupid like barroom fights. And he did that against Malarkey, and he gets taken out a lot. He has a pretty good get-up game. Silva's looked decent wrestling, and he's got some power. So I sprinkled half on Silva at like plus 280 or something.
Okay.
If anybody else gives a fuck.
Let's move on to the main card.
Nickname Lecco. Is this like a Brazilian descendant of Stefan? I might have to bet on it.
He got guillotined by Yakovlev, so he might be.
Oof.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
The man loved to get guillotined when he went to the MMA.
That's not very good. Not very good. Dawodu, main card. Hakeem Dawodu taking on Tukhugov at featherweight. Should be an entertaining fight. New Sean, start us off.
I think a lot of people think Tukhugov should be good, but he just doesn't show.
He should be.
He should be better than what people talk about and what it seems like he could be. I know he got a nice knockout last time, but he does a lot of nothing. He can gas if he goes for takedowns and doesn't get them. Dawodu's, I think, better on the feet. He is Canadian, so that's kind of scary. That's kind of a point against him. But
it's a different Canadian, though.
Exactly.
That's fair.
He's not born. Yeah, he was born. Oh, yeah, he was born.
He was born in Canada, but he could be considered an import if he was on an MLS squad. Jay,
Brad, all you're saying is he's black.
Well, he's born to two immigrants, so I mean,
Brad, it's fine. I get it.
Yeah, I'll pick Dawodu. I think he can keep it on the feet, and he
doesn't look Canadian.
No.
Doesn't have the God after his name.
Oh,
that's
God. Oh, that's funny.
Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on Tukhugov. Like you think the guy should probably be a little better. The Aguilar KO, I want to call it a little fluky, but to KO that guy is usually something. A one punch KO on that dude. That dude is fucking built tough. I mean, the split against Moicano. I just think Dawodu is good enough to keep this on the feet, and if he can stay at a little bit of range and pick and pop like he likes to, I think he's a way better kickboxer. And I kind of was off Dawodu after that loss, and I gotta say the guy's bounced back really good. He's fought a few okay fighters. This will probably be his toughest fight in the UFC, but just think he's a little bit better striker, and that's probably where this is gonna be. And man, as a dog here, like seriously, he's moved over to dog status. I got to take some of that. I just think he's the better kickboxer, and that's what this fight's going to be.
Bradley?
Yeah, I have to disagree a little bit here, but not in the sense of how this fight's going to play out, just in the sense that I don't think Tukhugov is better. Or like he should be better than he's looked in his fights. This is a guy who he had a couple easy matchups to start off in the UFC, and even those turned into competitive fights. Like this dude went to a split decision with Philippe Nover.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Ripped.
Right? That is one sexy nurse. Absolutely.
God damn.
And 2 fights ago, he absolutely smoked Murphy in the first round. And then despite getting 4 takedowns in the second and third rounds, managed to lose both of them, and that fight went to a draw. So like there's definitely some issues with this guy on the feet. He throws spinning shit, and people think when Russians throw spinning shit for some reason that it's always good. It's not good. It's bad in this case. Dawodu was a way better striker. So unless this guy can come out here and get 17 takedowns against Dawodu in this fight, I think he's going to be in trouble on the feet. I think there's a big advantage there for Dawodu. And, even the power of knocking out Kevin Aguilar isn't all that impressive to me. Like Leonard Garcia did that back on the regional scene, and that was Aguilar's only other loss. So it's not like the dude is got some sort of iron chin or anything like that. So I like Dawodu a lot in this fight. I think he keeps it on the feet. I think he's a way better striker. And I think we see a pretty clear decision here.
Okay, Lance?
This fight is pretty black or white to me.
Ooh.
Huh?
Ouch. Yeah.
So,
Dun, dun, dun.
Random Russian number 17 here. They're all the same. You cannot tell a difference in fighting style or anything between any of the Russians. They're all exactly the same.
Is this non-Caucasian Canadian number 1?
This might be Canadian number 1 just based on athleticism.
Non-Caucasian.
Hashtag BBN.
Yeah. I don't think Tukhugov is that great. I think he's got what separates all the Russians, like I said, are the same. What separates the Russians is, are they a 5 out of 10 in wrestling or a 7 out of 10? He's a 5 out of 10. he's not good enough to lay on a guy and take him down over and over and over again with his lack of striking skill. And I just don't think he can get him down very often. And I think he's going to be able to get up as soon as he does. So I think this is going to be mostly played in the feet. I think it's obviously a huge power advantage for Hakeem, but I think it's also he's just a way better technical striker. And I just don't worry about him getting laid on in this fight. Like I can't picture a scenario where he's getting laid on for over 10 minutes. I just don't see it. I think he's going to be able to get up when he gets taken down, and I think he's going to box his face off. I love this fight. This is probably my favorite on the card. The odds, what is it now? It's what, minus 105? God, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, you can get some plus money on him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna finish here. I think it's gonna be a decision, but I think he's gonna beat the shit out of him. Fuck Russia, the worst country.
Right? Stop interfering in elections, you fucks.
Yeah, they can do it themselves. Stop
poisoning people. You fuck.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
Jay, what do you got? I got both these guys. I'm not
easy.
Both guys. Both guys. I'm not as confident that Dawodu can stuff the takedowns, but I feel he is a significantly better striker. Definitely more volume, way more creative, and you like Rumble's penis. So there you go.
Yeah, I like big dicks, Jay. What's the problem?
Yeah, I like him in your ass. You know.
Who doesn't though? I mean,
anyway,
whoa. Brad, you hear this? How he's Brad? You hear how he's talking to me?
We like Pringles.
It sounds like anti-Semitism to me. That's what I heard.
First of all,
it's Lance's free time.
Who's picking a small dick over a big dick, Jay? Come on, wake up.
We like Pringles cans. We don't fuck with like travel size shampoo bottle.
Nobody wants these small
That's why Lance's model.
Whoever bet
Obviously, Jay didn't take my advice earlier and ask his wife about the girth. I'm just saying.
After the show.
I know.
It's an answer he knows he doesn't want to hear, man.
All right, Jay, continue.
But Dawodu, better striker, more technically gifted, not as convincing at stuff the takedowns as well as Lance seems to think. We'll see. I'll take Dawodu to win, but I think it's going to be a bit of a tighter contest than Lance thinks it's going to be. But he is our consensus play, right? I'm pretty sure.
Plus 108.
Plus 108. We'll take.
It's going to be tighter until Dawodu gets that big piece in there.
Oh, he's going to work it out.
He is Canadian though, so you're not go figure.
Fair.
All right, let's move on. Well, I'm not. I was going to make a next joke, but I'm going to. I don't want the intro to come out right now. So, Jara Eubanks taking on Caitlin Vieira.
Next.
Pass.
I'll keep it short. I don't think I bet
The over?
Oh, what? No. I
Vieira.
I bet Eubanks a couple weeks ago when Cash is a big dog. I don't think she's not gonna be able to bully her here. She's not gonna be able to take Vieira down. I know she's outstruck everybody she's fought, but she's usually able to do that with getting people to the ground, and she's not gonna be able to do that with Vieira. So I got 2 units on Vieira at minus 162.
Wes, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Sean, but I think this fight could end up a little closer than he's thinking. But same way I made some money on Eubanks a couple weeks ago when she was a dog. If she was sort of that same line here, I would probably take another chance. But you can't take that chance at this kind of price. If she was 3-1 dog here, I'd do it again. Yep. But not. I think Vieira wins, but. Probably it gets a little dicey if Eubanks can get a takedown in a round because I think she could lay on her. But Sean's probably right. She's going to win.
Brad, you have anything to offer on this one or skip you?
I just hope that when I grow up, I have Vieira's traps.
I can't believe this is on pay-per-view. Anyway.
This is a great pay-per-view fight.
Would Lance trade his forearms for her traps? Probably not.
No.
Hell no. You don't trade those things.
Dude,
my God,
I'm known for this. Sean actually, me and Sean were talking the other night, and I think he convinced me to bet this fight.
Ugh, that's a bad idea.
Because
You were desperate for that parlay leg, like I was.
I know. Like
I went with the fatties, like a reasonable human being.
That's way more risky, and I don't do fatties. Like I was looking at
fatties.
stuff, and yeah, I needed a parlay piece because I usually have a parlay on every card. Like there's usually one, usually more than one. There's usually 2 or 3 like favorites that I really like. This card there was one, so I needed a piece to go with him, and I do think Eubanks wins her fights when she can bully people, that she can toss people around, that she's stronger than them. That's not the case here. Eubanks isn't good at all, but she's strong. That's not going to matter here. So I do think Vieira wins this fight.
Yeah, Vieira is a way better fighter. I got her a B, Eubanks C-. I think she's going to big sister her. She's way stronger. And she's one of the best fighters in this division. Eubanks, I don't think.
Did you say
that's
she's gonna big sister?
Oh
yeah.
no,
big sister. I'm being safe here after my HR moment from before.
2020. That was the worst part of 2020.
I'll give Jay a little advice though. Jay better not let his old lady anywhere around in the vicinity of Tyler Hero. He might not never see her again.
Dude, 2020 just hit the fucking rock bottom with Big Sister.
Jay said Big Sister.
Holy shit. We can't even say like actual things. Man. Fuck you,
gotta be careful, Lance.
The Big Sister.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Kai Kara France taking on Brandon Royval.
Hey, this is a fun fight.
What do you got here?
It should be fun. France seems to suck the fun out of some fights, so I don't know if that's possible in a Royval fight, but
talking about dogs sucking.
Fucking Frenchman, Jesus Christ.
France, yeah, he's good. He's good enough on the feet. I think he's fought the much better competition. I don't think this is going to go how Royval's last fight went, where Elliott just gassed himself out, going for desperate takedowns until
that was awesome.
He gassed out and Royval got the sub.
That was a winner.
Royval is dangerous though, and if he comes out firing and trying to get a finish early, it could happen. France has been subbed twice in the first round. This was a long fucking time ago. I think he shuts it down, and this becomes a kickboxing fight where France just edges by volume. So I took Go's decision just for a unit at -150. I did hedge it a bit with Royval round 1 sub, which is fucking... Or no, Royval round 1 is plus 1,000. I put 0.1 unit on that.
All right, Wes?
Yeah, I think most of what Sean says is right here. But I don't really like France, and
it's fair.
No one does.
I'm hoping my boy Royval gets nutty and gets a hold of France and dirties this fight up. I don't think France likes those kind of fights. I think if he can just kind of sit in the pocket and do his little kickboxing shit that, doesn't hurt anybody and he's point fighting, that's his type of fight. I don't think he's going to get that type of fight here, and I'm hoping Royval can get it ugly and maybe catch something. As a 2-1 dog, I'm fading fucking France every time with a dude that can make this a little crazy. So I took it small, plus 200.
All right, Bradley, are you on the same side?
I haven't bet Royval yet. I think if I do, it's probably going to be like an inside the distance or something like that. Just because I have a hard time seeing him winning rounds against France. France is one of the few flyweights that resorts to it's not necessarily boring. Things happen in his fights, but it's also not entertaining. Like things just sort of happen and 15 minutes pass and then the fight's over. You know that there's not going to be a finish if he's winning a fight. So not loving France or France or however the hell you want to pronounce it. And in this case, I think the best comparison is like the Mark De La Rosa fight. Because that was a worse version of Royval, in my opinion. And
way worse.
Aside from the knockdown in that fight, I think that was pretty competitive. And I think Royval is a more active, more dangerous striker. I think he's more of a threat off his back. Like De La Rosa is a good grappler, but he's just willing to sit there and quit if you put him in bad spots. So I think this is going to be competitive. Maybe if the line keeps creeping up, I could be convinced to put a little bet in on Royval. And now that I'm looking at the inside the distance line, it's only plus 300, plus 350, depending on where you're looking. So that's not great. So maybe if I do end up betting this, it might be Royval, but I think France probably wins the decision.
Okay. Lance, are you going Royval too?
No. I'm trying to bet less big dog. It hasn't seemed to be working for me as much lately. I don't know what it is. But first, France's nickname is Don't Blink, and he has like one knockout in his last 9 fights. And I feel like when you have a bad nickname like that, you should be forced to remove it to you can blink 5 million times during my fights.
Is it don't blink or can't blink? Like maybe he doesn't have eyelids.
And he's not boring per se. And we see this all the time, right? A guy has really good knockout power versus bums. He goes up to the big show. He still has good striking, but his power just isn't there like it used to. And I see, Royval is dangerous. He is a finisher in this division. He's one of the consistent finishers, I would say, at 125. And his submission game is really, really strong. And I think Brad said this earlier in our chat, but like he's also a guy that's probably cool getting laid on if that happens. So I think there's some issues here. I wouldn't be surprised if Royval beats him, but I think the most likely scenario is France winning the fight with some jabs on the feet, outstriking a little bit, maybe sneaking in some takedowns and surviving. And I don't think I'm gonna take a stab on this one.
Yeah, I got France C and Royval C minus. Not a fight I really plan to look at. I mean, I just think France is just a little more refined than Royval is, and Royval's a little wilder. But again, I think there's better opportunities on the card, including the next fight. Co-main event, light heavyweight title.
Who's knocking down shelves in somebody's kitchen?
The ice maker, bro.
Ice, bro. Have some respect. It's hot down here. I know.
Why are you in the kitchen?
That's why I have a table here set up, man.
He's like right next to the refrigerator. He literally like reached his cup back. It's full of ice.
Right here.
Jay, ever since he's been bienvenido a Miami, Jay's been getting borracha in the cantinas,
I'm not even going there, Brad. I'm not going there right now.
That's because you can't understand my impeccable Spanish.
Impeccable.
That could
absolutely.
That could be that. Nuchon, Reyes, Blockhead. Does Blockhead have any chance in this fight?
Sure. I mean, he's got a little chance.
Okay.
I don't think he has a very big chance. I know there's been some fights that Dominic Reyes hasn't looked great in. Obviously, the Özdemir one comes to mind. That's a close fight. He looked pretty decent in the third. He threw the most volume he did in the third. So I don't think he's a guy that gasses. So even if he doesn't get Błachowicz out there early, which he definitely has the power to do, I don't think he's just going to gas and Błachowicz is going to take over like some people think. So I think he gets him out of there probably fairly early. I know Błachowicz doesn't really get finished that often. He's had a pretty big career and he's only been knocked out twice, but I think Reyes is the guy. He's got good takedown defense, so I don't think Block is going to be able to get him down. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Reyes to drop him. And it also helps that Reyes was in a long fight against John Jones last time out. So I like Reyes. I put him just in a 1-unit parlay. That was the one with Espino. I got -108, and then I sprinkled on some Reyes late finishes.
Wes, what are you doing here?
I don't know. I don't understand if that's the thinking. I personally think that I don't know. Reyes is good. give Błachowicz more of a chance early. The further this goes, I mean, we've seen Reyes get better as fights go on. He looked better in the later rounds against Jones. I don't really get that. I thought he lost the Osmir fight, but Sean's right. He looked better. He looked good in the third round. So I don't really get that. I love Reyes here. I don't think Reyes beat John Jones. It was close though. He was competitive at parts of that fight against who I still think is the best fighter in the sport, even though he's not what he once was. But I don't think much of Błachowicz. I think he's gotten some okay wins here and there. Clocks guys in dumb positions and they get hurt and shit. And he's not doing that to Reyes there, man. Well, Reyes is just the far superior fighter in my opinion. I like Reyes. I got him in a parlay. I like him inside the distance as well. I think he stops Błachowicz here. So yeah, I like Reyes a lot here. Probably the easiest fight for me to pick on the card.
Brad?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident Reyes is here as well. I think this is a pretty good case of a guy who's still making a lot of improvements and looked very good against the best in the world in his last fight, who's taking on a guy who probably peaked a couple years ago and has just sort of fallen into a title shot based on the landscape of the division. I don't think that Jan Błachowicz is a title contender or like a UFC champion level fighter. I just don't think he's that good. I've been watching this guy for way too long. He's had like a 15-year MMA career, and I've been watching this dude back in the KSW days since he was getting submitted by terrible 2-10 dudes and quitting on his stool against fucking Sokoju after 2 rounds. If you get through 2 rounds against Sokoju, you win in the third.
You should be winning, yeah.
That's what happens in that fight. So I know that he's obviously made improvements since that fight because that was like a decade ago. But there's some things you just can't shake. And I don't think that Błachowicz is going to look better in rounds 3, 4, and 5 than Dominic Reyes in this fight, who just went rounds 3, 4, and 5 against the best fighter that we've ever seen and did very well. I also don't think he won that fight, but he put on an excellent performance. So I love Reyes here. I think that he's either going to win a decision or get a late finish. And I parlayed Reyes with the over in the Fat East fight earlier on.
I was going to say too, real quick, I'd like to look at the points handicap too when it comes out. Hopefully those are a little bit more widely available, but we'll see.
They've been late on those lately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lance?
Yeah, I would say Reyes is I don't like to use the word guarantee, but he's the one I would be most shocked that loses. I don't see many, other than Jan catching him, which Reyes, I don't think he has a bad chin or anything. He's just a way better fighter anywhere this goes. He's a better striker. He's a better grappler. He's got better cardio. I mean, this is truly a one-punch shot for Jan, and I don't think he gets that. And what a weird way it would be if John Jones ends one of the greatest title reigns of all time, and Jan Błachowicz is the champ. 2020 has been weird enough. I can't see it taking it that far. I like Reyes here. I like him to, he might get clipped a couple of times, but I like him to kind of eat the shots, come forward, land the bigger shots, and just dominate him. I think he might even get some takedowns in, beat him up on the ground if he needs to. But yeah, I think this is a dominant fight. I think he finishes probably maybe late, maybe 3rd or 4th, 5th round, somewhere in the last 3 rounds. But I think it's a dominant performance by Reyes.
I got Błachowicz a B-, Dom Reyes an A. I think I'm with these guys. I think this is the most one-sided fight on the card, maybe even more so than the Diego Matthews fight. I mean, potentially I'm trying to think of ways that Błachowicz wins outside of like a pretty heavy leg kick that kind of is a kidney shot or something like that. Like, it's hard to see him win the fight. I mean, Reyes is a way better athlete, way quicker. longer, like a prototypical size light heavyweight. And he certainly has the confidence to go after the John Jones fight. I mean, I think he realizes this division's kind of his now. He's only 30 years old. He wins this. He could be champion a good 3 years without, having a ton of competition. I think there is an opportunity for him to make a lot of money here, and he's going to have to take the advantage of the situation with John out of this division and take it for him. I mean, the fight's his. It's his to lose. It really is. Let's move on. The points handicap as well. I think that's probably a really good play once it comes out. All right. Main event. We're going to talk about this one a little bit. Lil Drunk, Paulo Costa, taking on Wes's guy, the Stylebender, Adesanya.
Both of these dudes, come on, man. We've been on Lil Drunk on this show.
You've been on Adesanya from the beginning. That's your guy. All right. Nushan. I think you prefer Adesanya.
I do. I like Adesanya quite a bit in this fight. That being said, the first 5 minutes are going to be fucking terrifying, as with most first rounds against Lil Drunk. I know Lil Drunk is very good, and his style is very good in that division. And it is going to work against a lot of people. I just don't know if it works against Izzy. He likes to bomb on people when their back is right up against the fence. I don't think Izzy, being a kickboxer, is just going to be cool with trying to sit with his back on the fence and block shots like everybody else. Could he force him there? Yes, but I believe in Izzy's kickboxing ability to get out of there. It's a lot easier to get off your back, off the cage, than it is the corner of a ring. Uriah Hall was jabbing Lil Drunk to death in that fight. We know what ended up happening. Uriah Hall fucking crumpled like he always does, but he was getting popped a lot. And that's one thing, like, sure, Lil Drunk hits a lot. He has a crazy high striking rate, but he gets hit a shit ton. If he just lets Izzy tee off on him, that is not going to be a good thing. I know these guys look like they're two different weight classes, or 2 weight classes apart, but Izzy is very precise with his strikes, and he can crack people. I played Izzy. I got him at the opener at Bet Online, which was crazy low. It was minus 129. I took that for 3 units. I did hedge a bit with round 1 TKO by Lil Drunk because that's going to be sketchy. But I like Adesanya here. Like I said, things can happen. The first round might be terrifying, but after that, I think it's going to be all Adesanya.
All right, Wes, continue Nushan's thoughts on Adesanya.
Yeah, I kind of again agree with a lot of what Sean said. Look, I've said it over, I think, the past year or so. If this was a couple round title fight, I mean, Lil Drunk's one of the most scariest men on the planet. But Sean made the right points here that Izzy's not gonna go back to the cage and just sit on the cage and let Lil Drunk bomb on him. That's just not gonna happen. And yeah, if Lil Drunk connects a couple on Izzy, there's probably gonna be some trouble. He's got to get there. That's what you're gonna bank on. Like, we know who the better pure striker is here. Izzy's got some of the best movement, some of the best footwork that I've seen. He starts having problems with that footwork and that movement later in fights. Do we think in the 4th and 5th round he's going to be having if it gets there, that Costa's still tight and not winging even more like crazy wild that he does when he's fresh? He doesn't have the most technical, precise striking per se. He does what he does well. It's sketchy early. I mean, we all know that. I just think Izzy survives that. Sean's right. He's not going to lay on the cage. The guy circles well. He uses his movement as good as I've ever seen anybody move. Starts having problems later in rounds. I'm not sure Costa's the guy that is going to take Izzy deep into a fight and pull out a victory. He's got to get him out. He's got to smoke him early. If you think Costa wins, I'm fairly sure you're thinking that he smokes him in a round or two. I I don't think that happens. I'm going to bet on the better all around better all around fighter when it comes to every facet of the game. I don't think Costa's got more than 2 rounds in him to get Izzy out there. If he does, props to him. I'm not going to be upset if Costa wins. I really won't. I like the guy. I like him as a fighter. I love his style. I think Izzy wins, and if he beats this monster, he's approaching that status, man. He's getting there. He needs a few more, don't get me wrong, but the guy's approaching that status is maybe the GOAT of that division. So great fight. This is the kind of title fights that we fucking yearn for in this sport. We don't get them a lot. We're going to get the Holly Holmes and whatever the fuck more often than not. This is a great one. I'm going to enjoy this fight regardless.
Wes likes him more than Anderson Silva. Let's go to Brad.
I mean, I was never a fan of Anderson Silva, so
he was still.
He's never your friend.
He changed the sport.
What did he change the sport?
He got leg locked by Chonin. That changed the game.
Yeah,
he didn't even do a lot of pay-per-view buys until he met Chael Pete Sonnen.
Yeah,
I'm one that's never had the Anderson love either.
No, I grew to appreciate him.
Yeah, the flashiness.
Never liked him.
Yes,
but
showmanship.
I was never a fan.
He created showmanship.
He added it to MMA. You can say he didn't, but he did.
Anyway,
it's fine. Go, Brad. We got
as far as this fight goes,
he's taken Jay has taken Lance on a roller coaster tonight.
I want to piss Lance off.
You're like those Twitter trolls that argue with me.
I want to lose just a little more hair. He's got about 3 more years of life left. I want to put 2.5 years.
You're all the
really
Twitter trolls.
I really do.
Oh boy! Hi, Brad.
I'm still here.
This is great.
Oh shit! I can see some of the things that Sean and Wes are talking about in this fight. Uriah Hall, he landed a couple jabs on Costa. Joe Rogan was freaking out about them, absolutely freaking out on commentary. It sounded like he would score the round 10-8 Uriah Hall. He lost that round.
He did.
Costa landed bombs on him because you know what landing jabs does to Lil Drunk? He
throw harder.
He walks through them. You get no respect out of him, and he's just going to keep walking you down and landing shit. So we've seen Izzy in fights before that. Yes, he's a great technical striker, but is he really great at keeping distance while landing shots? Like little midget Kelvin Gastelum got inside on him and landed bombs on him in that fight. And if you don't think that Costa is capable of doing the same thing, that's absolutely nuts.
Oh, he's capable. I'm worried about it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I think the thing that I love the most about Lil Drunk is that guaranteed he is going to take a couple fouls to make sure that he gets some breaks during the fight so that he can amp up that cardio and make sure that he's getting that rest that he needs so that he can go deep into a fight. He took a couple fouls against Yoel. He took a couple fouls against Uriah Hall. He takes fouls against everybody. And eventually what he does is he makes people fight his fight. And there's nobody quite as good at fighting his fight as Costa is. So it's very, very impressive the way he sucks guys in.
I don't know if that happens there. Izzy is Izzy's very, very
Whitaker fought very aggressive in that fight, and look what happened to him.
That's different.
Yeah, that's fair. But we've seen Izzy hit guys and them react differently the way that Costa reacts when he gets hit. Like Yoel landed a ton of shit on that dude. And I think there were a couple times where he was off balance, sort of slipped down and stuff like that. They called
it a drop. They called it a knockdown, but yeah.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he was never really rocked in that fight. So, maybe there's a spot in there because I know that Hall landed like a shot on his temple that sort of like wobbled him for a second. But this dude seems like he just, we know he's iron through this area, but I think he's pretty iron through the chin as well. I don't think that, maybe Izzy can land something on the temple and wobble him and land some follow-up shots and something like that. But I don't think that Izzy's going to be able to get rid of this guy anytime in this fight. I think if you're betting Izzy, probably look at the decision because, you've got COVID Costa coming in here. He's going to be on a cycle like you've never seen. Just pissing through cups all over the place over in Abu Dhabi, and there's no chance
they've been testing him. They've been testing him.
There's no chance that they're going to scrap this fight.
He seemed pretty tired at the end of that third round against old YOLO.
That was a crazy fight too. That was a crazy fight.
And if you bet how this one's going to be,
I think this one's going to be crazy.
Except Yoel has one of the greatest chins ever.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean. So we're talking about YOLO, man. I mean,
you can't compare the two. Most humans cannot take those punches.
I just think that eventually Costa makes everyone fight his fight, and if Izzy gets into a situation, I know you guys talked about his footwork, how he's going to be great at dancing around, but for a guy that people don't think is technical, the way that Costa breaks dudes down to the body, like he throws vicious shit to the body. Punches and kicks. I think he can do that to Izzy, and he also cuts off the cage really, really well. Way better than people give him credit for. So I think this is going to be more competitive, even into the later rounds than people think. So I've actually got Costa because I can see the potential for him to land some shit early and get Izzy out of there. Or I think he can actually steal a couple of the early rounds, and I think that the later shit's going to be more competitive than people think. So, plus 150, I got to take a shot on my boy Lil Drunk.
This is going to be by far the best striker that Lil Drunk has ever fought. And, like, outside of Romero,
he's no Johnny Hendricks.
This is by far the best guy that Lil Drunk is ever going to fight, man. Outside of YOLO, that's a great performance, and that's why I'm scared. I know how good he is, man, but he literally is fighting Uriah Hall and Johnny Hendricks and Bang Bus and shit, man. This is a way different level of striker he's going to fight.
Izzy also has to give no fucks about a takedown either.
Who did Izzy fight on his way up? Like Brad Tavares,
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, 47-year-old Anderson Silva.
And the Vittori
Dustin Brunson
almost got knocked out a couple times by welterweight Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah, he also his
terrible performance against YOLO.
His last three fights though, like Gastelum gave him a fight, but he fought Robert Whittaker when that guy was still pretty fucking good and made
a huge layoff.
Yeah.
Dusted him.
But
same Robert Whittaker that got knocked out by Wonder Boy, who doesn't knock anybody out.
That was.
But all right, I won't take too long. I think we've been breaking this down for about 45 minutes. I agree with most of what Brad says. I think Costa has a granite chin, and I do think he's more than a power puncher. Like he's not a guy that just winging overhand rights and has big power and connects. He works the body a lot. He's pretty technical. He has a really good chin. And Adesanya, I think, is embarrassed about his last fight. Like the whole guy, he's all about showmanship, which he learned from Anderson Silva, apparently. First showman in sports history.
He invented it.
He invented showmanship. So I think he was, he's all about exciting fights and fans and putting on a show. And that was the worst title fight, one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. I think Adesanya is going to come out guns a-blazing in this one. I think he's going to get in his face, and that's not what you want to do versus Costa. Costa just moves forward. He puts you in bad spots. He's going to get the fight. He's going to make it in your face. You can't really – it's hard to strike a distance with him the whole time because, like Brad said, he cuts the cage off really well, and he's just constantly moving. And I think the power, I think the body work, are going to be the difference here. And I think Costa wins this one. I think Adesanya is not going to be able to get him out. He's not a big power puncher by any means. And I just think Costa's going to work him up, and I think he's going to land that shot and put him out.
He's definitely not a power puncher, but his striking technique and volume gets guys out of there. We've seen it over and over. The man is like one of the world-class kickboxers.
Yeah, we also saw him, the best guy he's ever faced, we saw him stare at for 25 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that does too.
That's two counter punchers and fucking YOLO weirdness added in.
Yep.
YOLO's had
that
fucking
wasn't
weird fights before.
That wasn't all on him. Like if Costa fight that YOLO fought, Izzy will stay there and fucking stare at him too and take a decision. Like
you can say it's YOLO weirdness, but Whitaker's put on 2 great fights with YOLO.
Costa
put on a great fight with YOLO. Tim Kennedy put on a great fight with
everyone.
With YOLO. Everyone except Adesanya.
Yeah. Adesanya's the first fight against YOLO I've ever seen. It sucked.
He's never going to be the guy that's going to walk guys down and initiate the fight.
But there's very long stretches of times in YOLO fights where literally nothing happens from either side, is what I'm saying. Even in fights that he blitzed and then finished, but
we're not going to have to worry about that here. We're not going to have to worry about that here. Like,
it's going to be a fight.
Lil Drunk is going to make a fight.
It's going to be a fight.
Of course, y'all, if he does get sucked into Costa's fight for a couple rounds, I don't see that personally, but that's a big part of the fight.
It's big cage too, which helps.
That's what makes this a great fight too.
Yeah.
Adesanya A+, Costa A. This fight is interesting for a few different reasons because it's going to force Adesanya to fight in a different way than he's had to fight before. Like, that's really the issue. That's really the story. But I mean, I think from what I've seen from Adesanya is that he is probably game plans as well as any fighter in MMA today. I think he's an extremely smart fighter. He avoids getting hit. He's done that quite well. And Lil Drunk's gonna have to be a little more creative than just be a berserker. And I don't know if he has that in his repertoire, especially as the fight goes beyond, say, 7-8 minutes. I know, Brad's pretty confident that he can do things later in this fight. I haven't seen him a thought or belief that he can have a 20-25 minute gas tank to win championship rounds. I haven't seen it. I could be wrong. I mean, we haven't seen him do 5-round fights either. But I mean, he's also extremely muscle bound. How many really muscle bound dudes can
throw the volume that he does?
Usman, and he doesn't. I mean, Usman's not at the muscle level that.
Nobody felt like that guy.
Who else is built that way? YOLO.
You gotta take
but YOLO doesn't throw that volume.
Maybe COVID cycle.
Oh, TRT tour. I mean, he couldn't do that either.
That's my whole point. If he's got a chance, he can win this fight, absolutely. But I just don't see it. 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I can't see it yet. I mean,
I got to think the first 5 minutes of this fight is just going to be Izzy kind of avoiding being hit as well as he possibly can, and he does that pretty well. I mean, he kind of dances around the cage a bit. He's cerebral. He's elusive, and I mean, he's probably going to wait till Costa slows down. I mean, you can't tell me that he's going to be able to go for 15, 20 minutes at that kind of pace that he goes in that first round. I mean, there's no belief that he can do that. But we'll see.
Brad's right on the body work, though.
That body work's nasty.
That's going to be a big thing in this fight.
Let's see how effective that is and how much contact he can make compared to some of the other fights that he's been in.
Walk through the jabs.
It's good.
Always does.
It's a great fight.
We know he's going to come out. He can land enough in the first minute of any round to win that round. Because we've seen it. He comes out of nut shot and eye poke breaks, and he's back to 100%.
He's got a lot of experience. 100%, but yes, he gets juiced up again.
It's just such a great fight, man.
That's awesome.
Good. Wait, they've been friends of the MMA analysis, both of these guys, since the very fucking beginning. Lil Drunk.
First fight.
We were pantsless. I mean, we were immediately pantsless on this show.
Yeah, he's a fan of we're fans. Anyway, that does it this week. New Sean's got to go, I know. So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good title fight. What are the chances we get 2 good title fights? Probably not strong, but hopefully one of them.
Reyes might do some. I think Reyes could give us some spectacular stuff. There's a possibility there.
Let's hope. But we'll have at least 1 new champion next week, maybe 2. Should be fun. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.